So the question, I'm in support of purchasing the refurbished one. The question is, where is the money going to come from? And you say you've got money in the educational fund?
I know I have an additional $1,500 that I would set aside for that. So I would make sure that it was, that is a planned, the education is planned activities. Other things such as medical supplies and what have you, it's more difficult to plan.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
For £100, should we look at something maybe that's a bit, just to buy a new lift for just an additional £100, do they have lifts maybe 200 pounds? 100 pounds seems a little too limited to go out and spend $1,500. Maybe we should be looking at something with a little bit greater capacity, so we're not.
This is for a 500-pound person.
I understand that, but I'm saying, look, I believe the capability now is 425, and the new one's 525.
525.
So we're talking about a 100-pound difference.
Right. Okay.
Should we be looking at something that has a greater than 100-pound difference?
Okay, I got you. Will our track support more than that?
No, I would not feel comfortable. I mean, I don't know what the rating of the actual frame is concerned.
I believe the tracks have been tested to 600 pounds. I may be wrong, but that's a number that jumps out.
That's still a 175-pound difference.
So the max is 600 pounds.
Don't hold it.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Whether we should be looking at something greater than a 100-pound difference.
So now we're talking about an individual that would weigh 600 pounds?
There are an awful lot of other variables in caring for a bariatric resident and meeting the needs of that resident. I know that when we looked at a resident of what we're able to care for and whatever, we looked at the maximum of about a 400 whatever pound range. I think your point is very, very well taken. But I think with the increase in weight come a lot of other issues that are involved, and it's not only the issues of a hoist. So, I mean, what I'm proposing, or the nursing staff are proposing, that we look at the 525-pound capacity for the hoist.
Could I ask what the weight is of that individual right now?
Well, could we just look into, say, maybe a 600-pound lift? The difference in price? And whether it would be better to buy a 600-pound capacity lift now than instead of a 525? Because to me, for a 100-pound difference, it just seems like we could be back here again at any given time in the future getting a higher capacity lift.
I'd be very happy to do that.
Okay.
I think we need to check first what the limit is, how much we can have there, and if it is 600 or 550 or 575.
Check on the track to see if that can hold a 600-pound person.
Yeah.
And see if they have a refurbished hoist that will handle that. Or what do you call it? Yeah, hoist.
The last item on my agenda is the medical director. Dr. Lewis will be away March 15th, 2012 to August 15th, 2012. He's taking a sabbatical. Dr. Donald Rose will cover in his absence, and he'll receive an orientation to our facility between now and the time of Dr. Lewis's sabbatical.
Okay. Anybody got any quick questions of the administrator of the nursing home? If not...
I do. I just have one question.
Go ahead.
Did you get in touch with Commander Conway?
I have not been able to reach him as yet.
Regarding the VA?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Robin, do you have anything for the general public? County Assistant Attorney, do you have anything for the general public?
No.
No? It looks to me like we're at the end of the agenda, but I would like to report on Hale's location, and maybe we got some minutes to approve.
I just wanted to put one set of non-public ones.
Okay.
Is that okay? I make a motion to approve the non-public minutes of July 13, 2011. And keep it sealed. And Commissioner Solomon was absent. I think you already read through this. I just received at 8:35 this morning the 3 sets of non-public. I received from September 21st, September 14, 2011. So this will be next week. I have to read it first.
Okay, I'll second the motion for the non-public minutes for July 13th. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And so voted. And you were absent. Okay. Do you have anything else to report on?
No.
No. All right, let me report on Hale's location. We had a, Commissioner Kenny and Commissioner Solomon wasn't able to attend because of a death in the family. But we attended the annual meeting of Hale's location. And as you know, Hale's location is not a town. They still don't want to become a town. With it being a location, the commissioners act as their selectmen. And so I went to their association meeting, okay? What they would like to do is they would like to have a review of the budget before we present it to the delegation. They want to use, we have roughly $266,000 in the surplus, which is left over from each year, which has added up now. They want to refurbish their roads, reseal the roads. And we said we'd put that into the budget for next year. And that they have one individual, Mr. Check, Richard Check, would be our contact with Hale's location. Commissioner Kenny and I talked about it with Kathy Rizard, who's our clerk at Hale's location. She's the one that collects the taxes and so forth. We thought it'd be a good idea if we had a meeting here at the complex, like the second week of January, and we're looking at the possibility of Wednesday, the 11th of January. I believe that's prior to any delegation meetings, but it may be subcommittee meetings, and they would normally be held on a Monday or a Friday, I'm assuming. So the 11th at 1 o'clock, we'd have it over at the new nursing home where Hale's location residents, all of them can participate, and they can all review, take a tour of the facility at the same time, and give them a chance to participate in the budget process. We'll have a budget put together by then. It doesn't get approved to the delegation until towards the end of March. So we'll get their input. They had probably, they have 131, I believe, members of the association. I still have a problem, as I mentioned to them, that the association is responsible for the lighting, the roads, the water, the plowing, and that kind of thing. All we're responsible for as selectmen is the schools, the fire, the ambulance, collecting the taxes. We're responsible for the voting as well as registering their vehicles. I have a problem because it's an association responsibility, but then when you look at the overall picture, it's taxes that are coming from the same people for the association as well as for the location. So I would like to still check with legal people and make sure that this is correct.
You're talking about the
Putting the roads in our budget, and the DRA has
They
said that
it was okay.
there's no problem with it, right? So that was a meeting that went well. And I talked for about an hour about different things there regarding the budget, why it was what it was, and so forth. And nobody seemed to have a problem with it. All they would like to do is have some input into the budget, which I said that'd be fine. Yes.
So there's a proposal that the county take over responsibility?
No.
Or they just want to use this part of the 266?
Yeah, we got to keep it straight. This is not
Well,
a
that's
county.
why-
It's not a county function. It's strictly selectmen acting,
different
commissioners
hats.
acting as
All
their
right, okay,
selectmen. No taxes from county people are affected at all.
but are the selectmen proposing that they take over the road, the fund, or they just want to use part of the 266 to refurbish some of the damage?
Correct. Which is their responsibility,
Right.
the association.
Right, but, okay, but as far as the county's response, or,
Has nothing to do with it.
well,
Nothing to do with it.
the selectmen are responsible for the education.
Yes.
Yes. Are we gonna keep some of that money, some of the things that the selectmen are responsible for? I don't think that they should be, you should just take the whole
No,
266
we won't.
and.
We won't. We have a new student that is going to cost us for transportation in Hale's location. He is presently going to the high school. So we're responsible for transporting as well as the tuition.
I know we're putting away $100,000 just in case a special ed student moves
Yep.
into town.
Yep.
So
Yep.
one student could cost you at least $100,000
Right.
per year, so.
Right. And we may phase this in and not do all the roads at one time. So we've got a contact there. They're going to look into, I said we need 3 bids and look into how much it's going to cost and what phases we do.
Because who would be responsible if there was no 266,000?
The association.
No, if
They would have to pay their association fee would be raised.
But what about, say, if a special ed student?
Still the association,
We would have to do the special ed.
but it comes out of their,
I understand that, but if tomorrow, if there was no $266,000, and tomorrow a special ed student moved into Hale's location, who's gonna be responsible?
We would be.
Right, that's my
Yep,
point.
yep. I understand where you're coming from. We won't use the 266,000, all of it. But we're well aware of that situation. The other thing is that came up, which I didn't fully understand at the time, but I was told by them that they checked with the Secretary of the State, and that he or she determines where the voting will take place. We were told that Conway would no longer accept Hale's location voters to vote at their location. They would have to find something else. Well, I was told that I thought we were responsible for finding a location, but I was told that that's not true. The Secretary of State will identify the location, and that we would have to pay a reasonable fee for that voting. And so the question came up, what's reasonable, and who's going to look after our interest to make sure it's reasonable? And that falls back, I think, on the selectmen. So we'll have to see where that goes. Apparently Conway cannot refuse Hale's location people from voting at their location. So the meeting went well. They had some good questions. Like I say, I was there. We were there for about an hour, and then we left, and then they went on with their own agenda. Do we have anything else to report on?
Yeah, I just want to say something about Hill's location. I got an email, and I thought it was a meet and greet about Hill's location. And that Saturday morning, I called Commissioner Soderson and asked him where it was. And he told me he also got a call from Kathy Wizard, and the question was coming up if they can maybe have their own selectmen.
Yeah.
I got a notice very late, so I couldn't do any research because I had to go to Conway that morning. And if I had early notice, I could do research and tell them some more about unincorporated places.